So in this video, I'm going to talk about what having 3 girlfriends at the same time taught me about women. This is a side of women that many of you guys, unfortunately, never get to see. So I'm going to break it down. First, I'm going to tell the story, and then I'm going to go into the lessons. So if you want to skip the story, I'm going to put the timestamp down below to the lessons, all right? So I was dating chick number 1 for about a year and a half, right? And I had decided to start bouncing full-time at this point. So I was like, yo, listen, I'm going to start bouncing full-time. I'm doing college as well, so I'm not going to have the same amount of time as before. So we're going to have to start seeing each other less, right? And this was my sneaky way because I had basically met a second girl at college, right? I had met a second girl at college. So I was like, all right, if I tell this chick that I'm going to see her less, it's going to give me more time so that I can start seeing chick number 2. So it was like the perfect excuse, right? Because I was starting full-time bouncing and I was going to college. So she was like understanding. She was like, yeah, you know, I get it. That's fine. So basically I was seeing chick number 1 once a week. And then I was seeing this new chick about twice a week at this point. And this went on for about a period of about 4 months. So I was pretty much juggling 2 relationships at the same time for about 4 months. And there was one night at the club where I ended up running into a chick that I really, really liked, all right? And I know we're not supposed to date bitches from the clubs, you know what I'm saying? But I was young. I was around 21, 22. I was stupid. And since I already had my own thing going on with 2 other chicks, I was like, fuck it. Why not add a 3rd girl in the mix? Because honestly, like this chick, guys, like I really liked her. Like she had a lot of the qualities that I liked in a woman, right? So we ended up hitting it off, you know what I'm saying? And I ended up dating her, right? And I was actually like kind of hype about it because I had seen this chick multiple times at the club and we had like made eye contact, but I never gotten a chance to really talk to her. And that night we ended up hitting it off. And a month later, after we started talking, I basically made her my girlfriend. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm actually not the one night stand kind of guy. Like I was more of like the dating type. So I do have a lot of experience when it comes to relationships, right? So I was basically dating 3 chicks at the same time. But shit went south real quick. And pay attention, right? One night I get a phone call from chick number 1, right? We had been dating for about 2 years at this point. So this was chick number 1. She calls me and she's like, yo, listen, we got to talk. And as soon as she said that, man, I felt like my gut, like it just butterflies because I knew something was off. You know what I'm saying? I just knew something was off. And she tells me, listen, man, I'm 8 weeks pregnant. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because at this point, I had just gotten into a new relationship with chick number 3. And my intention was to stop dating chick number 1 and 2 and just stick with chick number 3 because I really like this chick, right? I really like this chick over the other 2 chicks. But when you're in a position where you have options, you kind of have a hard time like withdrawing yourself from the options. Because at the end of the day, guys, every woman has their strength and weakness. One girl might cook really good and might treat you really well, but then the other one might be great at conversation and she might have the best fucking jokes. And then the other one gives you great fucking head and she's great in bed. So like every chick has different strengths and weaknesses. There's not a single chick on planet Earth that has it all. It's always a trade-off, right? So the only way to actually have it all is actually by having multiple chicks to fulfill every facet, if that makes sense. So I was kind of like on that slippery slope of not being able to just stay with one chick because I was getting like a different experience with every single chick because I had the options like that, right? So she told me, listen, man, I'm pregnant. You know what I'm saying? And in my head, I'm like, fuck, I got this chick pregnant and I'm in a whole ass new relationship with chick number 3. And this is the chick that I actually was going to just stick to and run it all with, right? So I was like, fuck, man, what am I going to do? Right? So I tell myself, all right, I'm going to tell chick number 3 about the situation. And I'm going to tell chick number 2 about the situation. And one of those 2 chicks are going to give in. One of those 2 chicks are going to help me with the kid. One of those 2 chicks are going to want to stay with me. Because at this point, me and chick number 1, we were going through like a rough patch. We had been with each other for about 2 years. Shit was getting toxic. And I knew that I didn't want to be with her long term anymore, right? So I was like, fuck, I don't want to be with chick number 1. And now she's pregnant. So I'm going to see which of these other 2 chicks are down to help me with this kid and are down to help me with my life, right? Because I was freaking out. I was like 21, 22. I was like, who's going to take care of this kid? I don't want to be with the mom. Like, I need a girl there to help me with the kid. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and tell chick number 2 and chick number 3 about the situation. And whichever one of them decides to help me with the kid and be with me, then that's the one I'm going to go with, right? But I decided to tell chick number 3 first, right? Because that was a chick that I actually liked. So I decided to tell her first to see her reaction, right? So I had to text her. I was like, listen, I know we've been talking for about a month. You know what I'm saying? I really like you, but my ex just called me that she's pregnant, right? My ex, because she wasn't really my ex. I was still with her, right? But I told her, my ex just called me that she's pregnant. And this happened like before we even started dating, right? Because she was already 8 weeks pregnant and we had been only dating for 1 month, right? So I told her, listen, this happened before we started dating, but she is pregnant and I just can't continue forward in this relationship. And I want you guys to notice the framing, right? I didn't tell her, oh my God, my ex just got pregnant. I'm so sorry. Please be with me. I told her, listen, I got my ex pregnant and I'm not going to be able to continue to move forward in this relationship. Positioning myself as higher value so that she qualifies herself to me instead of me begging her and qualifying myself to her like a lot of you motherfucking simps would have done. So I positioned myself like, listen, I got my ex pregnant. I'm so sorry. You know what I'm saying? I really want to be with you, but I'm just not going to be able to move forward right now. That was the framing of the situation, right? And of course, she was a little upset. She was a little angry. She was a little sad. But she actually told me, listen, I just need a few days to think about this situation, right? And in my head, I'm like, why does she need to think about it? I'm telling her that I don't want to move forward. So she's obviously like maybe giving this situation some thought. She sounds like she wants to be with me regardless, right? So I was like, all right, bet, no problem. You know what I'm saying? And I decided to go ahead and tell chick number 2 in the meantime because like, fuck it. If chick number 3 tells me to fuck off, then I have another option. I got chick number 2 and she might be willing to help me with the kid. So I ended up telling chick number 2, listen, I know we've been dating for 5 months at this point. We were dating for 5 months, but I got to come clean, man. I got drunk 2 months ago on a stupid night. I made a stupid decision. I ended up cheating on you with my ex. She wasn't really my ex. We were still dating, but I told her it was my ex. And I ended up busting deep inside her and I got her pregnant. And to my surprise, right? Of course, she was sad. She was crying. But you guys want to know what this chick actually said? After like crying and doing her little jealous tantrum, she was like, listen, I love you and I'm going to be here for you no matter what. I'm going to be here for you and for the kid. And I'm willing to support that kid because I know you're going to be a great dad. And this is when my perception of women started to shift. Because up until this point, I thought that women were all about being exclusive and that women were all about being fucking with one dude and not sharing and all this shit. Meanwhile, I literally admitted to this chick that I cheated on her. And besides that, she was still willing to be with me and help raise the kid that wasn't even hers, that happened because I cheated on her. So in my head, I'm like blown the fuck away. I'm like super surprised at this point. I'm like, damn, bro, like this is a real chick. Like, this is crazy. I never would have expected this. So I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna ride with chick number 2. I'm gonna let go of chick number 1. And I'm gonna just let go of chick number 3 because I don't think she's gonna be down with this, right? And then a few days later, bro, chick number 3 hits me up and she's like, yo, Marcos, listen, I know that this happened before me and you started dating. Even though we were talking, I understand that things happen. And I want you to know that I'm gonna be there for you and for the kid. And no matter what, I'm gonna be there for you and for the kid, right? And I was like blown the fuck away, bro, that these 2 women basically knew about each other. They knew about chick number 1. They knew that I cheated on them. And despite the fact that they knew all of this, they were still deciding to stay with me and to be with me. And so this is kind of when my perspective of women started to take a drastic change. What ended up happening, to make the long story short, was that chick number 1, she ended up finding out about the other 2 chicks. And she started like DMing them and texting them. And basically, these other 2 chicks ended up finding out about chick number 1, right? They ended up finding out the truth about that. I was talking to them at the same time. And even then, they still were telling me, listen, mistakes happen. I'm willing to start fresh with you. And I'm willing to help you raise that kid and be there for you, right? So that was a long story short because there was a lot of shit that happened. There were even fights that happened and stuff like that between the girls, shit like that. But that was basically the gist of the story. This is what happened during that whole like span of a year that I had 3 girlfriends at the same time. All right. And I want you guys to understand, I'm not saying this shit to brag because 1, I was being a liar and I was being deceptive. And I don't think that's nothing to brag about, right? So before you motherfuckers in the comments are like, you're an asshole, you're narcissistic, bro. I'm not saying this shit to brag. This is nothing to brag about, right? This was deceptive. This was me being a liar. And this was me being immature, right? And I should not have done those things. But I'm telling you guys exactly what happened, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you guys the 3 things that I learned about women during this year span that changed my perspective on women forever, okay? Lesson number 1, women are more willing to share the same guy than what you actually think, right? When we see Andrew Tate, Jay Waller, all these red pill gurus talk about how they have multiple women, they have multiple women. A lot of you guys don't believe them. A lot of you guys think that it's bullshit or that it's so unattainable or that it's so far out of reach. Guys, I was a 21 and 22-year-old broke motherfucker driving a 1999 Toyota Corolla with the paint crusted off. And I was basically enjoying the advantages of polygamy. At first, obviously, they didn't know that there were other women involved. But towards the end, they were aware that there were other women that I was seeing. And they were basically still all kind of willing to like put up with me. So it was like a semi-polygamous situation. So it wasn't that far out of reach for me as a broke 21-year-old who's not even in his prime yet to kind of be with multiple women at the same time. So think about it when you're at their level. Think about it when you're able to have a lot of money, a lot of status, a lot of game, a lot of value as a man. There's definitely going to be a lot of opportunities to have polygamous relationships with multiple women at the same time. And this is what you guys need to understand is like, it's not far-fetched to see a man with multiple women in a polygamous relationship. We think that women value exclusivity so much and that women value like being with one guy and all this shit. They might say that, right? And they might say that, oh my God, I'm so mad that you cheated, or I'm mad that you have other women. But in reality, subconsciously, women fucking like that shit, bro. And they're actually willing to put up with it if the guy is high enough value, okay? Think about it, bro. I was 21 and 22-year-old, a broke motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I had nothing to offer them besides dick and an emotional connection, right? And they were still down with it. So that just put things into perspective about the reality that women are actually willing to share the same guy more than what we think, okay? That's the lesson number 1. Now, lesson number 2 that I learned was that women value emotional connection way more than what they value money, okay? A lot of these self-improvement fucking guru red pill retards are gonna preach about money and money and money. Bro, these motherfuckers never got pussy until they got money. Before they ever got money, they had no game, they had no experience, they had no women. So what the fuck do they know about women? What the fuck do they know about female nature? You guys listen to these idiots who never had no play with women. They only got experience with women after they got money because they're paying for pussy, basically. So they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, okay? Emotional connection is more important to women than money. These 3 women, they had no green cards. For those of you that don't know what that means, they basically crossed the United States illegally, right? These were all Latinas. I am a sucker for Latinas, all right? But these chicks, none of them had an immigration status. They were all illegal aliens. They didn't have a green card. And they had so many guys offering them, hey, look, I'm going to marry you for free. I'm going to maintain your lifestyle. You won't have to work another day in your life. You're going to live with me for free. I'll give you the green card. And they were turning all of that money down, all of that status down. They were turning down legal citizenship just to be with me, a guy who had nothing to offer them besides an emotional connection, okay? So that's the power of an emotional connection. The way to get the most leverage over a woman, the way to get the best out of a woman is by establishing an emotional connection with her. And I can go into that in a whole nother video because there's tactics and ways to do this, right? But you have to understand female nature very well in order to establish an emotional connection with a woman. But once you do, you have the most leverage you will ever have on a woman. It's not by fucking having money. It's not by having game. It's by establishing an emotional connection because that's what women value over anything else. So women value emotional connection over money. These chicks were broke. They were working. They had no green card, right? They had guys offering them to pay for everything, to marry them, to give them a green card. And I wasn't even offering them marriage. I wasn't even offering them to pay for nothing. I wasn't even offering them to maintain their lifestyle. But they were still willing to tell all those other guys no and try to be with me long term. And that's the power of an emotional connection. Now, the third thing that I learned about women is that the only way to prove yourself to a woman, The only way to get a woman to respect you is by allowing her to see that you have other options. That is the only way that a woman will ever value and respect a man. If your woman does not see that you have other options, if she does not visually see it, not theoretically, like telling her, hey, I get a lot of pussy. No, she needs to fucking see it. She needs to see you making out with another chick. She needs to see another chick talking in your ear. She needs to see you macking with another chick. She needs to see it visually, which, by the way, also establishes emotional connection, right? But we can go into that in a separate video. But the only way to prove yourself to a woman is not by your fucking wallet. It's not by your corny jokes. It's by establishing social proof. She needs to see that you get fucking pussy. That's why my situation worked so well for me. And I got so much leverage in that situation over all of these women. Because they realized that they were replaceable as fuck. They realized that I was a high value man, not really, right? But I was sought after. They realized that a lot of women wanted to be with me, right? And so when they see that, they're gonna fucking get that anxiety to fucking just chase after you and want to keep you long term, because women actually like the guy that other women like. So if you cannot show your woman, your girlfriend, the girl that you're seeing, that other women, that you have options, and if she cannot see it visually, then you're at a major disadvantage and you're going to have a hard time establishing an emotional connection with that woman. You will never be able to prove yourself to any woman if she does not see that you have options. That's why whenever your girl tells you, delete this person from Instagram, don't talk to this chick, never listen to them, bro. Because they say one thing, but they want something else. A woman needs to see that you're macking. She needs to see that you have those options. It's the only way to prove yourself, right? There were many times when some of these chicks that I was dating, these same 3 chicks, they saw me making out with other girls in front of them in the club. They saw me grinding on other chicks at the club. And in my head, I was like, damn, I fucked up. These chicks are not going to want to do nothing with me. But that just turned them on even more. Yeah, they were mad at me. Yeah, they gave me some shit. But after like 2 or 3 days, that shit went out the window and they were fucking me better than before. They were treating me better than before. They were valuing and respecting me way better than before. And that goes back to point number 1, is women are actually more willing to share a guy than what we actually think, all right? Some of you guys might think that this is like some sort of dark tactic. Oh, he's so narcissistic. I'm just telling you the fucking truth. I'm telling you the fucking truth, all right? That's just the reality of how women are. And there's going to be women in this video, oh, that's not true. We don't like that. That's a narcissistic guy. Those are broken women. Women aren't like that. We're taught to respect and value exclusivity and all that shit. Women say one thing but do another. As soon as Chris Brown walks in a club, do you think that these women are thinking, yeah, he's going to be loyal, I want to be with him? Fuck no. They're thinking, I want to fuck him, even though they know that he's fucking 50 other women. They don't care. So when you're high enough value, women don't care about being exclusive. Women don't care about respect and the guy respecting her and only being with her. Women just care about the value that you can bring. And the best way to prove your value as a man is by showing her that you have options. And that's what this fucking lesson taught me, was like, fuck. These chicks all saw that I had multiple options. And instead of them turning me down because of it, it literally just motivated them more to be with me more, right? So that's the reality of how things are in 2024, man, is women, they're not into that exclusive shit as much as they want to tell you, right? And there's a lot of them that are, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying women are polygamous 100% or even 50%. But they do have that innate quality where they all flock to the same guy and they don't really give a fuck about it. Like, they will literally share the same guy if you can establish yourself up to that fucking point, right? And I'm not saying that that's kind of what I want to do with my life. I'm not saying that I want to be a polygamist down the road, right? Because frankly speaking, I think it's a major waste of time to have 2 chicks at the same time. 3. It's a fucking waste of fucking time. I do not have time for that shit. That is a waste of energy and time, right? But there is an element where you need to fucking show her that you have other options. You need to let her see that visually, right? And this is also going to help you establish an emotional connection. And we can talk about an emotional connection in another video, because it's not talked about enough. And I think it's one of the most important things when it comes to relationships. Like I told you guys, I wasn't a one-night stand kind of dude. I never really liked one-night stands, right? I always thought that sex was better when you had an emotional connection with the woman, because she's into the sex more and so are you. So I would invest in like longer term relationships because the sex would just be way fucking better, right? So I can talk about how to establish an emotional connection in a separate video, right? I'm not gonna give you guys all the fucking gems, but that's what I learned about women during the time that I had 3 girlfriends at the same time. And again, guys, I don't really think this shit is an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? I could have had 10, 15 girlfriends at the same time. I was turning down pussy left and right. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether you guys believe this shit or not, frankly, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. Because I don't even think that's an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? I just think you have to be a guy who takes care of himself. As long as you smell good, as long as you take care of yourself, you take a shower, as long as you work out, as long as you know how to carry yourself with masculine body language and confidence, you should be able to be with 3 chicks at the same time. You should be able to have multiple fucking options. The problem is a lot of you motherfuckers are fucking weirdos. You guys fucking smoke weed all day, play video games. You guys don't invest in yourself. You guys don't work out. You don't eat healthy. You eat fucking garbage. You don't fucking work on your social skills. And then you're out here wondering why you can't get pussy. Bro, you're a fucking weirdo, bro. You don't self-improve. The fastest and the best way to get pussy is by, number 1, going to the gym and building your physique. It gives you the biggest ROI, right? But other than that, self-improve, motherfucker. Work on your confidence. How? Going to the gym, working out, getting to know people, working on your social skills, right? But you guys are all invested in these little tactics and all this little texting game bullshit. What line do I text her? Or what line do I say? Motherfucker, if you don't self-improve, all that shit goes out the window. Because she smells the fucking weakness off you. She smells the lack of confidence. She smells the fact that you're a fucking beta simp that doesn't understand female nature because you don't have experience with female nature, because you don't self-improve to be able to have enough options to be able to create those experiences with female nature, right? So self-improvement is undefeated, bro. Take care of yourselves, you know what I'm saying? And this shit is not hard, man. This shit is not hard. Like, this story to me, it ain't nothing to brag about, you know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing to brag about. I have guys all the time telling me, oh, show receipts, show receipts. Guys, when you prove it to yourself that you can get unlimited pussy while being broke, you feel zero need to prove anything to anybody, right? I have guys telling me all the time, bro, cut your hair, put it short, take your beard off. You look better. Women like that more. Guys, I literally could give 2 fucks about what women like. Whatever style I wear, whatever haircut I wear, whatever I do with my grooming habits or my style, it's not for women. I don't optimize for that. I don't seek women's approval. I already know I can get women. I don't need to fucking optimize my looks and looks max so I can be the most appealing to women. I'm not interested in that, bro. I've already proved it to myself that I can get hella pussy. You know what I'm saying? So whenever anybody doubts me, yeah, bro, I can't get pussy. You're right. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who feels the need to brag about the fact that they can get pussy, that is the best sign that they get no pussy. Any guy who tells you, yeah, I was on a date with 10 different girls and I did this, anyone who brags about the fact that they were doing this and that with women, that is the best sign that they cannot get pussy. And that's why I didn't even want to make this video, because it seems like I'm bragging, but in reality, this shit ain't really nothing to brag about, right? But anyways, that was a little rant, but that was the 3 lessons that I learned about women. And most guys never get to see that side about women. So if you enjoyed the video, please like the video. It helps the channel out a lot. But in the meantime, Southpaw Huncho, checking out. Peace.